Do it the ball. Okay. Hello, angels, and welcome to today's training. So Alison and I, every week, we think of things that we can touch on, make better, and all these things. And today, we wanted to start a brand partner checklist for new brand partners. So when we bring someone on, we have the sheet, you know, the how to onboard, like everything that we work through with them. So like the widen your reach, the how many things a day, all of that, we've got that sheet. Great. We do that with them on their first call. But then we want to give them a checklist as well of what they're going to be doing daily. And they get to check that off. And at the end of the day, you go, have you done your checklist today? And they'll be like, yes, because that's the only kind of people we're going to invite in. But if they haven't, why not? This was a requirement that we both talked about when you started. I can't work with people who aren't coachable. It makes it easier. So I wanted to quickly share the list that I made. It's very basic, right? It doesn't need to be fancy, but these are the things that we want on it. So the first one being widen your reach, 1 a day for the first 10 days, non-negotiable. So they get to check it off in the next checklist. And then after that, for the first 3 months, they do 4 a week after that. So that's non-negotiable, easy. They can't, if they get confused about how to do that, fine, you can help them, but they're doing that. That's part of it. So every day, a reel, a live, a post, or an IGTV video, product or business related. Now, really, we should be doing a minimum of 2 a day, maybe a post, a picture, and a video. But at the beginning, some people aren't so savvy. But as long as they're understanding, reel goes first in the list because reels are how we're growing our business. Today, I was looking down my reels and one of them has 103,000 views. And I was like, what the? So this is how we get to build our business, is by doing reels. So we do that. And we want to make them product and business related. Equal measures, not always product, not always green shake, but equal measures business, which is why we're doing more business calls. Like Nicole just held one today that was really, really good. 5 new follows a day, 5 new comments, commenting on people's posts. And when you're following someone, 5 new follows a day means, you know, following them, but reaching out to them at the same time. Hi, I wanted to follow you because we want to do 5 new conversations a day, sharing something, possibly getting to the point where it's like, can I share? Would it be okay if I share with you a video? But we want to start 5 new conversations with people, and we'll have a list of that. And then 5 follow-ups, following up with 5 people you've already spoken to and sending them information, getting them on a connect call, whatever it is. Ticking off corporate and team calls for the day. Have you managed to make the calls today? If they can't, if they're doing live, then they're going to have the list so they can rewatch those calls. Some personal development work every day, you know, minimum 30 minutes, book, online mentor, GoPro live event, YouTube, a course that they've enrolled on, a coach, maybe for that day, they book a call with myself, Alison, Eric, and they have a coaching session, something for their personal development. They need to keep reading. Readers are leaders. I love that. I learn working through the modules. Every day they're working through some modules. And we want 3 stories on Instagram and Facebook, with one of them at least having a poll or a link. A poll so they can build more prospects, a link so that they can connect people to the ULT, connect people to a pack, whatever that may be. And then you want to have a weekly check-in with your upline. That's something that Catherine put in, and that's a great one. So a weekly check-in with your upline, you know, just seeing how everything's going, and it's going to be like a team cool environment. But as your new brand partner grows their team, that weekly check-in becomes your team call for the week, because everyone here with a team should be hosting weekly team calls. And this, Leslie talks about this a little bit too, in that as you begin your team calls, you're rising in your leadership, you're going to call on your upline to help you with those calls, obviously. But as you're growing, maybe they'll come in and share a little bit, and then eventually they're just going to be coming on to listen or share a story quickly. They won't be necessary for the entire hour of your team call. So this is something that evolves too. So everyone take a picture of this checklist, or hit me up if you want me to email it to you, but really you can make it your own. You can word it how you want, but this is what me and Alison, and we asked our leaders, thought were the most important things daily for our new brand partners. Now, obviously, if we're platinum, it's different. So we get to alter that if we're platinum. Just take off some of the ones like widen your reach, but they still could be doing their entries the same way. So I wanted to share this quickly with you guys, before we go into our other things. So this is something that we're going to have saved on our laptop, on our phone, that we're going to send to every new brand partner, and we're going to check in with them every day. Have you managed to do that? It's just easier. We're not having to be like, are you doing this, and messaging them all day. Is there anything else, Alison, you want to add to that?
No, I think that's great, and I'm so happy that you created this list. Um, yeah, this is a amazing list. And we meet everyone where they're at. So obviously if you can't do, like, this is a great framework for someone who really wants success. But of course, if you need to downsize it to we work with everyone's goals, but this is the blueprint to, consistent. If you're doing this consistently, you will fly through the pay plan. So.
Yay. And I can't copy paste it in. It won't let me. So that's why I just say, just take a quick picture of it. Or I can send this to you. But yeah, this is how we grow. This is everything we need. Just makes it simple. So I'll stop that. And we wanted to mega zoom. So with mega zoom events, I know that I've spoken to a little bit to Eric recently, and he wants to go back into PowerPoints at the end, or at least guiding people at the end, because we're really good at like sharing our stories, but then people are like, so what next? And we sometimes end it. So it's important that we give them an act like, so what do we do now to start the business? Well, and then what I'd like to show you is something that I like to do on mine, which is where I'll show them, I shoppurium.com. This is something we did the other day. You can literally just pull this up and go transformation, and just kind of walk them through this. The transformation section. So what is this business? How do we get started? Transformation. We want to create permanent, lasting change. This is how it begins, with your healing journey. That's what we say, and we go down. This is the ultimate lifestyle transformation. You can literally just read it. 2 meals a day, $11. This is what you get, all just organic food. These are the products. This is what they do. You can add, what I like to say is add daily fiber blend, add zinc aid, if you want to really, really get to the best. And then here you've got all these schedules, you've got your tracker, you get your support. This is how we begin. And then you say, the business is only the cost of your product. So we either start with the ULT plus immune, or plus performance, or the ULT. And then I just take them through that. I'm like, what is this that we're talking about? And then you can like briefly go through the products and what they do. At a minimum, I know that Chloe is making PowerPoint slides for hers for the future. So as leaders, that's what we can do. We can be like, well, I want all of them to be seamless, so I'm going to have the slides for whatever. But that's a really good one, just to show them that the website, and to take them down there. And also at the end, to remember to say, whoever brought you on the call, go back to them. They're the people that are going to give you more information, answer any questions you have. You can get them on a 3-way call with one of the leaders that you just saw on the call. But they've got to have structure to this. The structure is so important to this, and to present with confidence and posture. Absolute energy when you do this. Be pumped. And we can also show ultpack.com to them. How do you get started? It shows the 2 packs, ultpack.com, that has the performance pack on it as well. So, or make slides and just copy paste that information and make a little slide. But we've got to make people understand what this is. Like, because we talk about the business and we're like, we love it. And they're like, but what is this? What are these foods? So this is cool. We want to keep them to 30 minutes. Is there anything else that you want to add to that, Al?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize the importance of the structure, because we also want to make it duplicatable for everyone just even coming in. It's great to just have, if you want to brand it, like Chloe's making her own slides, you can make it your own. But just so we have the framework of this is what we do, so that people can duplicate that, and so that people who are new, feel comfortable to host their own events.
Yeah, exactly. And, if Chloe makes great slides and you're like, damn, Chloe, they're great slides, and you're on Chloe's team, can I have the slides? Yes, she will give that to the team. That's what we do. So I'm going to get on to, Eric had some, when we initially did this, I'm going to make some new slides. That's what we can do. So we get to make things that we get to gift to our brand partners as the systems. So we can do it however we want. It's fun. Just make sure the information's in there. But yeah, mega zooms are really cool right now. And now, Al, I don't know if you want to introduce Connect Calls, but it built my business, guys. It freaking built my business because Allison said, Alice, your only job is to get me on Connect Calls. And I went, okay, Allison. And that's all I did. And that's how I learned. So emphasis on Connect Calls. Oh my God, if you do 10 Connect Calls with your upline, you will know how to do them seamlessly. So
yeah, I mean, I talked to you weren't on one of the calls where I really used you as the example because you're to me the first person that I brought on that listened and did and put it into action. And boy, did she ever put it into action. And it was the
sorry.
most beautiful thing in the world though. Getting booked up, really someone listening to, okay, because I said, get me on Connect Calls. Connect, the more people you connect me to, the more you're going to close. We're going to get more people. So Alice had me some days 8 people. She was just lining up people, and she was saying very little to a lot of people. She was not giving them information. She edified me. She said, Allison, you have to meet my friend Allison. Oh, she's so whatever great things that come to really speak from your heart with what you love about them and why you think this person would be interested to meet them. And she would get me on the phone with people with amazing energy because they were excited to meet me. And it was easy because actually Alice really followed what I said. She muted herself. I told her, just connect me and this is how you're going to learn. I'm going to walk them through. I was still learning myself, right? But this gave me an opportunity to step into my leadership, to put into use all the things that I knew, because all of you guys know a lot more than you think you know. Like you can all talk about, and the way that you really learn is by Connect Calls. Like I learned more listening, like being on Connect Calls with Taz than I could have learned from any training, because you're hearing the one-on-one connection, how someone communicates, and also you're learning about the person's story deeper, and you're learning about your upline story deeper. So it's really, really like it is the best tool to accelerate your business. I will know someone is not doing well in their business because they haven't gotten me on Connect Calls. And I'm not going to work with people who don't get me on Connect Calls. That's kind of a new thing because, I don't see you connecting me with people. I have no evidence that you're serious. You could be making posts all day, but if you're not connecting people, because we are connectors, that's all our job is. We're not here to be the experts. We're here to be connectors. We're connecting people to either our upline or to tools, or to, we need a third party validation. That's just how people make decisions. Even if they love you and they respect you, even your best friend will need a third party validation. It's just human nature. That's all it is. It's just psychology. So Alice was really my first example of someone who did it. And what did she do? She went right up to diamond from platinum. So, she was the first in my team to make it to diamond. And she did it against all the, things going, because she just kept on connecting me with people. So the call was amazing. If everyone should rewatch that call, because Sonia Magruder, I can't, she's a master at this. But we wanted to do our own version of that, training, just because it just has to be repeated many times. So even if after this training, you're going to want to go back and watch that training, get a deeper understanding, but it has to be the priority of your business. If you want success, you need to it's a numbers game. Connect more people to your upline.
So much wisdom. Yes. And we can say it and say it and say it, but you will get stagnant in your business unless you learn, because this is learning while you earn. I had so much trust in Allison. All I knew was that I needed to get people on the phone with Allison. I'd sit and I'd listen. And I learned everything I know. I learned how to listen. I learned how to ask good questions. I learned how to close. It's actually about the less you say, the better, which is interesting. But the first thing is, the edification. You edify, you've got to edify so much. When you're even before the Connect call, you're saying to them, I'm so excited because there's someone I want you to meet, my dear friend. You've got to mean it. You've got to really think that, and you've got to say it, and you've got to use verbiage like friend or mentor or business partner, not upline. And don't say Connect call. People are like, what the F is that? and you just say, she's extremely busy. I love that Sonia said that, because that's what I do. Alison is extremely busy, but she is free at this time and this time tomorrow. What one works best for you? You give them two options, because then the option of them saying, oh no, that's not an option anymore, the option is the two. It's very, very interesting psychology. So you look at Alison or whoever's calendar, you look at two options at a time and you go back to them. I've just spoken to them, they're free at this time, what one works for you. But before I go on, Andrew, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on what you ladies were saying, because I honestly think it's gold, and especially from my years of experience in like dealerships and stuff. You really want to just keep control of that conversation, and it's kind of like a funnel, right? You want to bring the questions better that are going to suit you and where you're trying to get to, right? So like how you just said, like I have this time or this time, which works better. What you're doing on a psychological factor, people don't even realize that realistically you just shut them down to two options and made them feel like they had to pick a choice, and they did it willingly and happily, right? And so yeah, 100%. I just really wanted to touch on that. And honestly, the last part was a big thing when we're having conversations, something that I'm finding with like a lot of people that know me, friends and stuff. It's about maintaining that professional integrity. You almost have to step into a different persona, right? Because again, I love being as friendly, as outgoing as I am, but when it comes to business, it's business, right? Make it business. Make them see that, hey, you're dealing with a professional, right? At the same time, as loving, as happy-go-lucky as we are, right? People gotta understand that there is that professionalism to this, and we gotta keep reminding ourselves to bring that to the table, because that's what's gonna get people like, yes, I see that person, I like how that person is, and I want to be something similar, or I want to chase what they have, or whatever it is, right? Again, so yeah, thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. It's so true. And what you're talking about is posture. It doesn't matter if it's your friend. You have to speak as you are already where you want to be in the company, like top. That's on you. You get to embody that, and I love that. There's so much embodiment in this. And yes, it's so true. Like, this is literally the best tool in our toolbox. Sonia nailed it. It is like, this is how you learn everything. So yeah, sit with your notebook, and when you come onto your connect call, this is super important. When you come onto your connect call, that is your time again to edify and to shine. You take charge straight away. You're down, your upline, and come on. Oh, hi, it's so good to see you both here. So again, I just love to reintroduce. So Susie Q, this is Alison. Alison has been doing this for like nearly 3.5 years. Her and her family travel the world. She's changed her health. She's changed my life. She's changed the life of thousands of other people. She's an extraordinary human being. And I'm so blessed that she was able to be here today. And Alison, this is Susie Q. Susie Q. And I have been talking for a little while. She's exactly like us. She's so heart-centered. She's so into health. She's magnificent. She's ready to rock. And I'm so excited that you guys are here together now. I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself because of any background noise. I don't want to interrupt. So I'm going to hand this over to Alison because she's the expert.
And yes, I want to emphasize. Oh, yes. Sorry. Finish your sentence. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm done.
Oh, I just wanted to really emphasize that what you said. So yeah, to absolutely edify both, take charge to introduce both people and edify both to each other, and then say, I just want really everyone to really, this is so important, and you mute yourself and you say, I'm going to mute myself. I'm still learning. I'm going to be taking notes. And that's what you're going to be doing. Alice always had her notepad out, and that showed the other person, first of all, she's paying attention, she's learning, and that she cares. Like, it's really showing she cares. So that is so important. And also, as a way to get people even on the Connect call, and this is something I've seen work, and Alice does this really well, is she'll open sometimes a chat. Because sometimes there's like certain situations where, I don't know, there's just, there's we're working with people, so there's all different kinds of situations. So some situations are going to call for first a connection on a chat in a chat group, okay? It'll be on Instagram chat or Facebook chat. I've seen this work really well before if you do it right. So the right way to do this is you leave a voice note. So you make a chat group with the two parties, and then you'll always, first of all, get their consent to be in a chat group. First you say, would it be all right if I connect us in a chat? And because some people aren't ready to get on a phone call, but this is the answer to that. You say, would it be all right if I connect you guys on social media? I'll open a chat and introduce you both there, okay? So this way it's non-threatening, okay? It's, for busy people, they may not want to commit to a time yet or whatever their excuse is. This is non-threatening. So you open this chat with the two parties. What you do first, you leave a voice note. I don't recommend leaving a few. I recommend leaving a 1 minute, saying, I'm so happy to be connecting both of you. This is Susie Q, my good friend who I met at yoga class, and she's, really interested in the green juice. And I couldn't wait for her to meet you because I know you're a yoga teacher for a long time, and this has really helped you in your practice. And I just want to connect you both here. So you connect them in a voice note, just leaving it there. And then that's when I will come in and say, oh, Susie Q, great to meet you. Would you like to meet? Because sometimes it takes a third party validation to even get them to meet on a connect call. So that's where I can say, would it be all right if I leave you my Calendly and we can set up a phone conversation, because it's hard over chat. That's all I say. I'm saying it's hard, it's easier, because we want to just make it easier. We just say it's easier over Zoom. Yeah. We can have a 15-minute call, doesn't need to be long. This will just be easier to get to know what your goals are. Love it. So yeah, that's really how it's been working the best. It takes all the pressure off, because some people, they have a blockage when it comes to getting people on the call. So I'm saying this could be a baby step to get people on the call, is to open up this chat group. So yeah, Alice, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's perfect, because then you're leaving the trust into your upline, and trust us then to steer it to a call. You'll hear how we do it, you'll hear the verbiage, and you can drop the Calendly, or as the upline, you can say, yeah, I've got this time and this time free tomorrow. What one works for you? Because, it'd be so much better to hear it from you. I want to meet you. I'm so excited. And they're going to be less threatened. But I love that. That's something Sonia doesn't really talk about, but sometimes those baby steps good. I still do that with Alison. I still do that. So, and I still do connect calls. We always will. They're so valuable, so valuable. And the great thing as well, we get to use any one of our uplines for the connect calls. I learned so much from Alison. I learned so much from Eric. I learned so much from Taz. I've done some with Joel. I've done some with Brandon Ashoden, which blew my mind. We get to call on so many different people to learn from. It's bomb. But yeah, always voice note too. Remember, no texting with banned. They're banned. So teaching your downlines how to edify is key. Edifying is everything. Energy, edifying, like just so much reverence for who you're connecting people to. Like people, it's a gift. It's a gift. Let's see, Rena. Why your connect calls canceling, Rena?
Okay, I have something to say to that, because it used to happen to me all the time. So it's so important that we empower them to be making this decision to get on the connect call. When we, if they feel that it's something for us, they're going to most likely cancel. But if they feel, it's all about our language, right? Like Andrew was saying, it's about the language. So there's ways to word it, like, the if I would you, where they're the ones consenting to want it. And also, following up before the call is really important. I've had people who, before, when I was, less professional about it, I just thought, oh, they're just going to show up. They said they were going to show up at this time, they're going to show up. But with human nature, it's just not the case. So we have to make sure to follow up with them. Sometimes, like if it's been a while, like let's say like they booked it for a week in advance, I'll message them the day before and just message and say, I'm so excited to meet you tomorrow. Or if, even sometimes just like a 30-minute before, like just letting you know it's in 30 minutes, like just sending you the link just in case you don't have it. Always make sure, okay, so you are doing that. And it happens. It's nothing, sometimes it's just what happens. People do cancel, but it'll happen less and less the more you it's a shift. It happened to me a lot in the past, and I know now it doesn't happen as much. So I know it's a shift in my posture and the way that I empower them for it to be their decision, because people will follow through with things when it feels it's coming from them. Yeah. But you know what? Don't let it stop you. It's like all about keeping that funnel really full so that even one person, it doesn't matter. Oh, then I get a break. You know, sometimes I look at it like, oh, someone canceled. Good. I can go pee because I'm like, I'm so booked back to back. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's part of the game. People are going to cancel. So that's part of being bulletproof. Don't let it get you down. People cancel with me all the time. It's great. You can be like, oh, absolutely. I so understand life gets so busy. Well, you know, Chloe is too, but how about tomorrow at this time or this time? Chloe's free then. Just immediately follow up with other things. But it's kind of like, it's a posture thing. It's, there we go. She rescheduled. That's dope. She didn't cancel. She just changed the time. So don't look at it like that. The people that cancel as well, sometimes it's a blessing because they have so many limiting beliefs that it's going to be hard at this time to get around it anyway. But the more posture you have, the better you are at edifying, the better you are at bigging up this opportunity in your upline, the much higher percentage chance of them staying is, you know, it's so much higher because they're like, they see this as value. There's nothing that could have stopped me getting on the call with Sarah Brando when Alison edified her to me. I was like, oh my God, like I will beg, borrow, and steal to get on this call. So it's part of it. This is part, we're gonna have, what does it bring up for you more? What's more?
It's Mallory.
She's saying
She's saying this is a really tough love call for me. And I'm like, what is it bringing up for you? I want to know if you want to share.
Because these calls are always
Hey guys.
empower. Yes. Hey babe.
Hi, I'm like over here bawling my eyes out.
What's happening?
Can everyone hear me? I just like with the connect calls, you know, like I'm just like being reminded to just like really be better with reaching out to people and like starting conversations and really like trusting Allison, and then I can just like direct people straight to her, because like sometimes I do want to like be able to know what I'm talking about, but I just like need to put that trust in Allison and just like go directly to her, because like Allison heard say like just like if people aren't making connect calls, I'm so emotional right now. Just like when you said that you didn't want to like work with people or like that aren't making connect calls, because that's like the purpose. That's why you're here, to help. And it just like made me realize how much I really want to like put more effort into that. And like I've been doing a lot of other stuff. I've been like doing really good with doing lives, and every day I've been listening to like watching at least an hour of some replay or some like the GoPro event, and I've been feeling good and like learning a lot and and like putting it into action. But like really like I almost kind of feel like I've subconsciously been like diverting away from the connect calls or something, and like that's really where it's at. And so I really want to make a conscious effort to like to do that, and like to not be afraid to reach out to people, and not and like let myself feel comfortable with saying like, hey, I want to connect you with my friend Allison. She's really amazing and can help you a lot. And I just like I think that maybe I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm doing, like I don't know what I'm doing or something, but like
I think
that's just keeping me from getting connect calls.
the point I'm hearing is that you want to be able to have all the information yourself. But connect calls take that away because you don't know what to say until you've done connect calls first. So that's like a lot of us come in and we're like, we really want to know everything, but it's actually bad to know everything at the beginning because we need to learn from the uplines. Like we don't need all the information. We don't need to word vomit everything. It's about empowering as we're learning, and trusting that Alison will do it, because how are we meant to learn everything right now, Mallory? You're being hard on yourself because you're doing absolutely amazingly. It's just you've got to have that trust that you can speak to people in that way, and just connect them to Alison, and then have that trust with Alison that you're going to have your notebook and you're going to understand so much when you've done this 10 or so times. It's going to completely raise your posture, the way you think, and then your business will grow because you'll not be so scared to reach out to people. So this is part of the growth. but it's just trusting in this. And that's why we put so much emphasis on it, because it changes your posture so quickly when you learn this way. It really does.
You're not alone. I'm there too, definitely trying to get out of my own way, and like I haven't been putting out the effort to. It feels fumbly, so just I think I was reading in the chat. Role play helps, so yeah, we'll definitely just practice it, and yeah, getting out of my own way too. So lots of love. I'm so proud of you. You're doing it. Just that you recognize you want to too. That's huge. Yay, Mallory, we got you.
Oh, Jennifer, thank you. You're so sweet. And all of us are learning together. Mallory, you're doing amazing. I don't know if you saw the comments. I've been writing comments to what you were saying, so I didn't voice it, but read in the comments. But you're doing amazing. You know, there's so many levels to growth in this, and this is just another one. And it's actually, once you get out of your own way, it just makes it easier. Honestly, it's just here to serve. Like, it's here to just, it's leverage your mentor, you know, like leverage the, like take some of the load off and have fun. Like the most important thing is having fun with it. So being like, you know how much fun we had. You introduced me to a few people. We had great connect calls. You know, it's once you start doing it, it just becomes, you get into the flow state with it. That's the key, is just getting out of our own way and getting into that place where it's not stressful. It's just like, oh, like, yay, more people. Like, let's have a party. Let's keep inviting people to connect and connect and connect. And it just becomes easier as we do it. So yeah.
It's you know, this is it. It's like we cry and we find things hard when it's just new and unknown to us, but it's much more painful to stay there than to just push through and fumblingly try this and invite people. But you know, we've got the system. That's the wonderful thing. It's speak to them, connect them to a video, ask them what they like, agree with them, send them to someone higher up than us. That's literally it. And the quicker we can get good at that, the easier this becomes. And then you're really empowered. You're empowered in your business, and you're like, wow, like I can do this. And then you can divorce the upline. It's just the quicker we can do connect calls, the quicker that happens. And it's not to say this gets easier. It doesn't, because you get to new levels of different things. But connect calls, you know, it's how we learn. It's how we learn everything. So just decide that you're going to be empowered today and speak to people that way. It's really fun. I promise they are fun. I really enjoy them. I love meeting new people. It's so good. It's so cool. And something I've learned with my people, when they bring people on calls with me, something I really like to say now, because it's true, is, you know, to make the person, the prospect and the call feel really good, is I say as an upline, you know, today I did one with Nicole. Nicole only brings people to me who are really, really amazing humans. She's already pre-qualified. She's already done the work. So I always get excited to meet people that they bring to me, because I know they're going to be incredible and like me. And I've been excited to speak to you all day, because that's the truth. So that's a really good thing we get to do as leaders too, is when our people bring people onto us, let that person know they've been specially hand selected. They're here for a reason. All these things will make them feel at home. And it's true. And then I just wanted to go over, yeah, there's that thing, pre-qualify, make sure that they're good for the business. Someone who's going to show up to calls, someone who is passionate, someone who loves the products, someone who wants a change, someone who is committed, someone who's interested. Yeah, someone, because the first connect call, someone's got to be interested. They've already got to have seen a video, be understanding of something to do with this. Don't get someone on an up three-way call, because that's happened to me in the past. So I'm like, great, so what have you already seen? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, what have you spoken about before? Like, what about this are you excited about? They're like, I don't know why I'm on the call. Like, I can't work with that. You can't work with that. I'm like, what can you do? So they have to have seen a video before, they have to have been on a call. You have to have given them some information about this before you use the time of someone who's super, super busy, because we can't do anything about it. I know that's one of Alison's pet issues, is pet peeves. It's like, oh, we can't do anything with that.
Yeah, I just want to say, because Ali is saying, even for buying a product, yes, for every step, you know, even if it's just about the product, if they have to know something, they have to have seen a video about it, or maybe seen a live or something. So always expose them to something, so that they're coming in excited. Like the purpose of a connect call is to just validate. We're here to third party validate. That's the essential thing, you know, so it's like to validate what you've already said to them. We're here to just give that stamp of, you know, people just need to hear it from another person and then they'll make that purchase. They won't make, even if you've told them, a lot of people won't make it just on your word. They need to hear that third party say, this has also helped their life.
Yeah.
So that's what it's for.
Be humble, be honest, be like, I'm new, because I don't know very much, but they do. You've just got to be like that. Don't try and be one of those people that's like, I don't want to start my business till I know everything. I need to understand the products. I need to know everything about PowerShake. You're literally self-sabotaging and you don't realize it. That is self-sabotage. Go. Before I had my products, I started my business. Nothing would stop me. I was like calling on people to join me in a cleanse. I was like, I don't know what this is. I know it's dope. I work with Sarah Brando. We're going to go live so you can hear about it from Sarah Brando. This is exciting. I didn't have my products. I didn't know very much. I got people on calls. That's how I learned. So we're just sharing what works. You know, that's what works. So don't do that thing where it's like, oh, I've ordered, but I'm going to wait till I've tried them. I want to get on. I'm like, no, you go now. You go now. Don't do it. Don't do this to yourself. But there are 5 key benefits to the Connect calls. If you were on the Leslie call, you hear that. One is leverage the expertise of a sponsor. Use an expert. Don't try and be one before you are one. If your sponsor is new, go higher. You know, go higher than them. If you've got a new sponsor you just started, go higher, go up a couple. Earn while you learn. It's immediate action. Your sponsor knows enough. You don't need to know anything to start, is what Sonia Magruga said. You don't need to know anything to start. You don't. You'll learn how to overcome objections to 2, outstanding time management. This is outstanding time management. Using a Connect call, you're training, they're learning, your uplines learning. You're going to have a quicker, they're going to help close the deal on the call. So it's great. You see how to close a deal too, because they're going to share screen, help them order. Boom. You're going to see everything you need to learn. Real-time training for you and the prospect. This is training, real-time, in-person training. And for the prospect you've brought on the call, they don't know it yet, but they're being trained. They're being trained too. They just don't know it yet. So this is very good time management. It's a professional courtesy. We're professionals. 2 very busy people taking time to speak to someone. It's very, very professional. Everyone who has a business does Zoom calls. They're professionals. So this takes us up a level of professionalism. So act like it's professional. That's cool. And this is highly duplicatable. Everything you do and say, your brand partner will do and say the same thing. That's brilliant. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's what we want. It's duplicatable. We need to keep duplicating. And on these calls, you learn how to build rapport, show genuine interest in other human beings, and listen. And all these skills can be used in all of life, not just this. These are really important skills for life. And you're teaching the new brand partner how to do the discovery process with a prospect. So they hear how you listen. They must talk more. You'll see it with an upline on a call. They talk mostly. The upline listens, ask good questions, prize, builds a story, shares a story for them, but they're listening more. And we want to hear the pain points, and we want to hear the needs and the desires of the prospect. It's not about us just blurting about all the science about blah, blah. They don't care. They want to feel heard. So a really good phrase is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Because, you know, Nicole's spoken very highly of you. I can't wait to hear more. Tell me a little bit more, and then just listen, allow them that space. And then that thing, you know, Nicole only brings me amazing people who show who she connects with. And I've been waiting all day to speak to you. I'm very excited because I know that you've been connected for a reason. There's so many beautiful things that you can say and things that Alison taught me. So the upline is pre-qualifying for you. If you bring someone on the call, you listen, because instead of you just being like, yeah, you're going to be my brand partner, let Alison or me decide if they're going to be an actual good fit for a brand partner first, because you don't want your time wasted. Make them feel comfortable, held, loved, and allow them to let their walls down and be vulnerable. And this is a really good phrase. I'm going to start using more. I hear you. That's really interesting. You loved like your old job and you loved it when you started. But now it's become a hamster wheel for you and you want to change. I totally get that. You know, agree with them. agree with them. Like, I get that. I'm hearing, you've got to be like, okay, I'm hearing from you this. Is that what you mean? Ask them, I'm hearing this from you. So an amateur will word vomit, an amateur will just talk about them, too much. TMI. Pros, let them speak. Close happens when the prospect is speaking and during the listening, not when you're speaking. So pro tips, but you'll learn this on Connect Calls. It's great. So you've got to communicate with them the value, give them a solution to their pain points. That's what the upline will show you how to do in the most masterful way. Then there's no price objection. Objections don't happen when you're offering them value like this. There won't be any. And then afterwards, I'm going to start doing this. Do a debrief with your downline after every call. Just 10 minutes, just stay on 5-10 minutes. This is beautiful because I've never done this before. Allison's like, yes. So be like, get afterwards. What did you learn? Did you hear me say this? Did you get that this was this? Tell me, what did you learn from this call? Let's work together to figure out how we're building. You get to do that afterwards, which is really cool. So I'm going to start doing that after our Connect Calls. We're going to stay on. You learn overcoming objections, how the sponsor responds, and watch them be immediately dissolved because there won't be one. Just letting someone in, the story-based response. I love that. Leverage stories. So for example, if someone says your pyramid scheme, pyramid schemes are illegal. People ask us for recommendations. Before, like you sent them to Whole Foods. Who owns Whole Foods? One of the richest men in the world. That's the real pyramid scheme. You're feeding the people at the top. Whereas now you get to show them a company that's like family owned, farm to family, and you get to put money into something that's genuinely building a whole new world. So what's the real pyramid scheme? Whole Foods or period? Like you just get to debunk that and hear people debunk that. There's always a story that can be used. So if someone says, oh, I'm in Argentina, I can't get my products right now. I'll always be like, oh, well, yeah, me and Allison, we lived in Belize. We had to wait a long time for our products, but it didn't stop us. It never stopped us. So just ease their mind with someone else's story. But then, Sonia says 2 Connect Calls and you'll learn how to do this alone and divorce the upline. The goal is always a Connect Call. That's got to be the goal because it's an all-rounder. And then, we want calls to be 30, 40 minutes, an hour. This day and age is too long. It's too long. It's too much. People are going to get bored, but we want to keep them a little bit shorter if we can. But then, Allison, what else would you like to add to all of those bits?
Yeah, I want to emphasize the that little bit about staying on to go over the call. Like that is a really essential part of training. Actually, Alice, we were talking so much in that first few months that we were doing that naturally, like we were like always kind of deep, like about like people we would meet, we would always like chat after, oh, like and like what we could have like, but actually we were, it's also important to like congratulate, to say like, just giving that feedback of like, you're bringing on amazing people, like you're attracting incredible people. You're obviously doing something right with how you're, just even like qualifying them. So you want to just give some feedback after a call. What went well? What could have been different? We're always learning, so that's really important. So Ali, just we could stay on, for a few minutes after when they leave and just have a little debrief about it.
Love it. It's a constant communication thing, isn't it? Me and Allison are in constant. When I say constant communication, I don't text Allison all day, but I'll update her on things constantly. I'll let her know where I'm at. And, like Chloe is really good at that with me. And like, all of my team actually are really good with that with me. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, we haven't spoken for a few days. This is what's been going on. And I'm like, great. I know what's happening. I know where we are. So that constant, like me and Allison at this point are telepathic, basically. I'll be like, hey, I'm following this guy. Do you mind following him and like dripping on him for me? I want to get him on a call. I'd like it if he knew you first. Like we're just very, it's that leadership thing of being a vision. Like I see things before they happen. We get that. And that's something that's building for so many of my leaders on my team. I'm just like, I can let go now. I'm like, I trust they're doing that. And then they fill me in. And that's something that we build. The more we have Connect Calls with our upline, the bigger our bond gets, the more we know how we work together. It really is a beautiful thing. That's how we start to develop amazing connections and build family. But yes, the debrief, that's awesome. I love that because I hadn't really thought of that, but of course it's a training. There should be a quick debrief after these calls. And there's just one more question that's.
And what Alice is saying with people, with Alice being in touch, it's not up to your upline to be reaching down. It's really up to you to make yourself, being updating your brand. Like, I love when I hear, like, it'll never bother me to be hearing updates on where you're at, like, daily. You can be messaging me every day because I'm always checking my DMs and stuff. So just be messaging me just to tell me, like, I'm meeting some cool people today, or or like, anything that's going on. It's just good to keep in that constant communication.
Exactly. And on the debrief, you can say to your brand partner, like, what stood out to you the most on that call? Did you notice how I did this? Did you see how I overcame that? Did you notice the verbiage? What was that? That they're the kind of questions you can ask on the debrief. But this is meant to be fun. It's so fun. Like, when I have calls with my people now, I'm just like, this is great. We have such a giggle. My people bring me amazing humans. I'm like, whoa, the quality of these human beings is so amazing. Like, I love speaking to them. But I love this. I dare you to wear me out. That's what you want to say to your new people. I dare you to wear me out the way that I wore Alison out. I dare you to have me on calls day till night, because you know what? It would never bother me. I want to be kept up. I want to be on as many calls as you can get me on. I challenge you to make me tired. I challenge you to do that. It's really cool. The faster we do 10 connect calls, the faster we get you up and running. Simple as that. So don't self-sabotage yourself. And then she said again, how much do you need to know about Curium before the call? There's got to be a level of interest. I only go over this again. They have to have seen a video. They need to know what this is a little bit. They need to have some understanding of it. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. It's so sucky. Like, I just remember those times that happened. But then I blame myself for not training enough, not training properly people to do that. So I'm telling you now so that you don't make that mistake and you can tell all of your people about that. But connect calls can be done for prospecting, for coaching. Coaching is cool because, someone can bring on a couple of their brand partners and you can do a coaching call, connect call that way. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but it's just so important and it's meant to be fun. So I just challenge you all, kill us with connect calls, please. Kill us with connect calls. It makes us happy. That's a lot of the notes that I've got out. I don't know, any questions, any comments, anything Alison wants to say?
Yeah, I just want to say there's a difference between being we want you to wear us out with connect calls, but there's a difference with our time is so valuable, right? So we want to respect so we want to, like, there is no shortage of how much you can be not bothering us with connecting us, right? So that is the way to our heart, keep on connecting us with people. And can you do 3-way messages on Insta? Sure. If the person only has Instagram and they're more comfortable first meeting that way and you feel it's more natural for you, let's do that. Connect anyway. You can even, what I like to use as a connect call tool is even before a connect call, but now we have so many lives and so many times we've shared our stories, even connecting them, like tagging a prospect in something you've said that's going to resonate for them. Or, even better, one notch ahead. This is really mastermind stuff. But telling your upline to make a little video about, let's say, let's say I have eczema and you're like, I need a little short video of you talking about eczema. You know what I love to do? That gives me an idea for content. I'll be like, great, I'm going to create a little video right now. And you'll be like, whoa, look at that timing. My friend just did a video about this topic. I mean, we can get creative with ways that we're connected here, guys. This is a very cool bubble here. We get to be behind the scenes, making things happen. We're creators. So get creative with how we communicate messages.
Yeah. And that's exactly, Al, what I meant about being a visionary. Put yourself in leadership shoes now. What would a leader do? I preempt. So with that, I'd be like, oh, I'm speaking to someone who has this issue. or who's very interested in oh, I've got kids who are vegan and I want to travel the world. And I'm like, okay, so I can be like, Alison, do you mind doing a story on this today? And we do that. It's like a psychic thing. So I challenge you guys to ask us to do more stuff like that. Or if it's not us, just a sideline. I know if you know someone who's got an issue like Kevin did with his back, like what are they called? Oh my God, I get brain blank sometimes. Autoimmune disease. Yes. Be like, Kevin, do you mind like talking on that a little bit today or on your story? Or do you have a really good video on that? Like I want to, we get to do that. It's so cool because there's so many intertwining stories here. And by the way, Connect Calls, someone just asked me about people in our direct team. So for example, like Joel Calandrillo, yes, he's on our direct team. He's very, very busy and very, very at the top. So, but he's still open to do it. Brendan Ashoden, he's not in Kind Human Tribe. He's got a whole different leg. Who's he under, Al? He's
under Troy Casey.
Troy Casey. So, I mean, I very rarely ask him to do stuff, but if I have an athlete, I'm like, yeah, I want to speak to him. But we built a rapport. So build rapport with other people within sidelines, different teams, because then they're so happy to do calls with you. Like I'd be so happy if JP or anyone reached out and was like, hi, I've met someone who's going to really resonate. Great. How cool. What a great opportunity. I'd love to do that. That's so cool. So just keep broadening your horizons. But if you haven't already watched the Leslie training, please watch it. I've got like 50 pages of notes and I thought I knew stuff. There's so much to learn. And then just get us on the calls, get us on the Connect calls, no matter what it takes. And just trust that we're going to be able to train you and close that person for you. Trust is everything here. Trust. But yeah, I know that now, in a couple of minutes, Chloe and Grace are going to be doing an amazing healing training call. Reiki and beautiful, beautiful things. Oh, I know you do, darling. I love you. So get on that for a bit of a reset. Alison, did you want to close with anything? I saw you on mute.
Oh, I just want to say, yes, trust. I trust you all. And I am so grateful to serve. And I'm just,
not all of these, right?
Trust is everything. So, we're having a pancake party here now, just to show you guys superfood pancakes.
Yes.
Love you all so much. Oh, Allie, quick question.
I was just going to say, is there a list somewhere written of like who has what issue, so we know, so we know like who is that? Does that exist?
Well, it doesn't, but you know what? We can create that. So like if what I love about Kind Healing or, any of these groups, or even on our, take some different stories and make your own library, or we have in Kind Human Healing hashtags if you want to search. So you may be able to use, like if you find, I don't know, plant-based or I don't know, whatever, search in the hashtags. You're going to find things there. So we do have some things that are searchable, but we can create systems.
Can I just add on to that? You can also just ask in our groups, like, does anyone have any experience with this? And then you can connect with that person. That way you can find out about them to be able to edify them before your calls with the other person.
Exactly. That's what we can do. So it just takes time, Ali, like honestly, to learn everyone. That's why the 30 days of social media the transformations are good. I've learned so much about people, things I didn't even know that they were dealing with, blah, blah, blah. So it just takes time. But yes, ask in the group for now. If someone you're speaking to has whatever it is, Crohn's, be like, has anyone got any thing with Crohn's? Has anyone overcome it? I know now, Taz, because I asked, but please ask myself or Alison, because we know pretty much everyone's stories here and we're happy to direct it to someone. But thank you everyone so much for being here. This is so cool. We're always going to be doing these little things, and that people will have resistance. People are going to cry about stuff like this. It's normal. It's difficult. It's new. But I hope everyone's got the brand partner checklist from the beginning. Share that with your team, whatever, make your own. It's just going to simplify. We're making systems. But I love you all, and we'll see you on Chloe's call in a few minutes.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.